Got it. Thank you, Ames. All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Charlie Nanda. I'm the co-chair of the Needham Council for Arts and Culture. Today is October 11th, 2022, and I'm going to just do a quick hello and a little roll call. We'll get our meeting going. There's an agenda online if everyone needs to see it, but it's pretty simple, so our meeting might go pretty quickly today. So that's exciting. So I want to make sure that everyone can hear me, so respond in the affirmative. Do we have, let's see, Wendy Segal?
Siegel, yes.
Oh, Siegel, okay. Wendy Segal is not here, but Wendy Siegel is here.
Here.
I've known you for so long, how can I not pronounce your name right? Okay, Wendy Segal is here. All right, Corrine Rhodes, I got that one. That took me a minute.
Here.
Hi, Corrine. Elizabeth Cook, hello.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, you're here.
I'm
And
here.
can you hear and see us okay, Elizabeth?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can.
Yay. Okay, Joni Shockett, you're here.
Yes.
And Dennis Zhang.
I'm here.
Okay. And then we have Bala Venkat. It looks like she's coming on. Hi, Bala.
Hello, how's everyone doing?
Yay. So it looks like we have everyone but Julia and Heather and Amy who may be coming late. So that's a quorum. So hi, welcome everyone to our meeting. I usually have to do this little introduction, but I think I might be the only one in the whole town of Needham that reads this word for word. So I'm gonna just like cut it short, basically saying that we get to meet remotely because of the executive order from Mr. Charlie Baker. So it doesn't always feature public comment, but today we have the public, which is so exciting. We're so happy that you're here for this grants info session. So I'm just going to introduce everyone quickly, and then we'll just chat with you guys because you're the stars of the hour. So one thing that I want to say, business keeping, is we are being recorded. This is a public meeting, so you may comment. So if you want to say something, you can raise your hand and I'll call on you and you can say your name. And just be careful with what you share because this is being recorded and it will be posted on YouTube later. Really exciting. No one watches it, but they can if they want. So just be sure like whatever you share behind you or you say is recorded. So that's about it. I'm going to go around and say that we've got the majority of people here, and I know a few of you who are here for the grant info session. We have a returning guest for our second time, Valerie Mao. Hi, you came last year, which was our first one. Do you want to say hi? Let's just jump right in, Valerie. You have any questions first? You want to tell everyone quickly, like 2 seconds, what your project is this year, or do you have specific questions you want to ask?
No, so last year was my first year and I did a project involving creative movement dance with the kids at the Sunita Williams School in the ELC, which is they're now called the ILC. So it's our one of our town programs for kids with disabilities. So that was super fun, enjoyed it so much, and it went really well. And so I know we only have 1 week, but I will likely do that again, but I'm still in my head wondering if there might be something a little different, maybe not in the school, maybe for the community. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, one step away from deciding what I'm doing.
Yeah, so we have been talking a little bit, you and I, about this project, touching base. And I did talk to Sarah Shine at Needham Youth and Family Services, and she was super excited about the idea of creative movement and maybe connecting with her. So
Okay.
She's trying to speak with you if you wanted to talk to her as a partner. They've been great with us. Okay, we'll come back to you with more questions then, and raise your hand if you have to say anything. Hi, Amelia Klein. I don't know if we've met before. What organization are you representing or individual?
Well, I'm on the Needham Human Rights Committee, and I'm also on the board of the Needham Diversity Initiative. So I'm not sure which hat I'll be wearing when I do the grant application, but we're working together on developing, and Bala, by the way, is part of a group, the planning committee, that is planning a multicultural event festival in Needham to celebrate the diverse populations in Needham. So, and that will happen later in the year, but I am here to ask some questions as we continue to clarify some things.
Okay,
Thank you for
So-
joining, Amelia. Excited to work with you on that project. So happy you could join today.
Thank you.
that's awesome. Now, are you working with Ramin on, because they've traditionally submitted something for Needham Diversity Initiative
Yeah.
for the MLK Day. And I reached out to him to see if that was something they're going to be doing again. And then you guys had a booth at the town fair too, which was like every group. It was Equal Justice, Needham, NDI,
Right. Voices in Unity.
and so who is leading the
Yeah.
Multicultural Festival this year in spring of 2023, right?
Right.
So I connected with the woman and encouraged her to apply as well for the Multicultural Festival. I don't remember her name off the top of my head.
Did you talk to Renaz, Charlie?
Yeah, that's who it was.
Renaz has been spearheading that and working with her. So that's great that you spoke with her. That's awesome.
Yeah, so are you on the planning committee
Yeah.
for the Multicultural Festival? I saw Valerie raise her hand and she probably wants to know more about what that is about. Yeah, right? Yeah, you guys know, have you met yet? Do you know anything about the festival?
Yeah, we've been meeting actually for months now. We've decided on the date and time and venue. So it's going to be in March of 2023 at the Powers Hall. And our hope is that we can reach out to the broader Needham community, different groups, different representations, and make sure that they participate and showcase who they are, and then are able to connect with the rest of the community. So it's just a way of bringing everybody together, showcasing the culture, diversity, and also inclusion. So we're still in the planning stages. We did send out a survey, I believe, right? Townwide survey. And we're going to start more communication and marketing to targeted groups, like, reaching out to the PTC schools primarily, because I know, like, I've been part of the initiative at Elliott where we do multicultural festival every year. So, and it's been great. We've had almost like 10 to 15 different countries and different communities representing their culture, right? So we're hoping we can bring some of that similar aspect of that at a more broader level to the town. So that's a little bit of what we're hoping to do. Amelia, if you want to add something, feel free.
Yes, no, I think you captured everything, but Bala and Renaz and I have been spying on what other communities are doing, and we're sending some of their multicultural events, and we're really getting excited about what we think we can do in Needham.
Mhm.
We were in Medfield,
Mhm.
and was that right? No, Natick, was it
Natick. Yeah,
Natick.
we went to Natick. I know Renaz was going to Medfield. I couldn't make that one, but Natick was amazing. We got some good ideas from there, and hopefully we can incorporate that here as well.
And we're hoping, I mean, the events that we attended, there was so much enthusiasm and so many people that came out to the event that we're very optimistic that we can put something together. And this will be the first time in Needham, to my knowledge, that we've had a town-wide multicultural festival.
That's correct. So yeah,
And
good.
so
having
would you
you
be
here.
writing the grant for that? Is that something that you're thinking of applying to this for, or?
Well, I've been in conversation with, because the Human Rights Committee initiated the idea, but we've been working closely with the Needham Diversity Initiative. And because the Human Rights Committee is an official town committee, there are a lot of obstacles about applying for grants. So I'm on the board of the Needham Diversity Initiative, and we've been in conversation with Ramin. And Renaz as well has been in touch with him. So I think we will be applying through NDI.
Okay. Yeah, actually, for our grants, you can apply at the town committee, just so you know. That's Parks and Rec applied, the Needham Revitalization Trust Fund has applied, so it's not a barrier at least for our grant. But
Yes, you can apply, but there are lots and lots of restrictions, which I found out today from a representative of the select board. So Renaz and the group will have to make a decision, but it looks like NDI will be the grant applicant.
great. There's one other grant that I mentioned to Renaz is that the Massachusetts Cultural Council also has the Festivals and Projects Grant, which is up to $2,500, and that's so those are pretty good size, and the grant process isn't too difficult for it.
And you mentioned that to Renaz?
I did, but I can forward the information too.
Great, okay.
Great. Do you have any other questions you want to follow up with us, or we're happy if you have things you can call or email us, and we can help you through the process for other specific questions.
Well, I don't know. Are you taking questions, specific questions at this point, or do you want to do that later in the
It's
session?
up to you. If yeah, you can ask a specific question, sure.
Well, I was reading through your guidelines, and one thing that is not funded is refreshments. The term used is refreshments. You cannot use a multicultural event will include people sharing food and cuisine from their cultures. And I guess it depends on how you're interpreting refreshments, but that will be part of the exhibit and the festival.
Yeah, I think refreshments is just for us internally. We're not allowed to spend our money on refreshments for meetings and things like that. But I think if it's part of the cultural event, it might be different.
Yeah, because I think one of the things we were saying to Amelia's point is that if we're having different countries, they want to showcase their, like food, and then also
Yeah.
have that out, and then there'll be like maybe we could put that off on the side after the event where people can go and like share the food and try it out. So we weren't sure if we could use that to allocate to the different groups that are going to participate as like some sort of a money grant.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue. I think that's part of something else, like for our internal council meetings. We can't pay for refreshments for ourselves, or I'd have an open bar at every meeting. Yeah, that's a good one, Amelia. You have anything else?
Yeah, so I have a quick question. So I was introduced to Renee regarding this multi-cultural event. And I think CFN will be one like host a table for the Chinese community. So I think that just a follow-up question with Bala is like the project will apply the grant altogether and then allocate across different needs across different groups, right? So we don't,
Yes.
so which means like we don't have to apply a separate one.
Correct. Yeah, you don't have to do
okay.
it separately. Yeah.
Okay, that'd be very helpful. Thank you.
Well, we have Stephen Dornbush here. Hi, Stephen. How are you? Who are you
Hi.
representing today?
No one, myself.
Yeah, you're someone.
My name is Steve
There you go.
Dornbush. I've lived in Needham for almost 30 years, also a town meeting member, but I've been involved in the arts my whole life, both as an art director, a photographer, artist, art teacher, and I've recently just retired from my full-time work, but I'm looking to observe. I don't want to take your time and talk about myself tonight, but I didn't know if there'd be an opportunity for me to work with you, if I'd be a good match or whatever, but I've been earlier with the town. And again, my background is in the arts, having been an art director, a teacher. I've done murals, I've done photography, but my whole life.
Stephen, we are always looking for volunteers. That's incredible.
I'm also fairly, the Mass Cultural Council, I'm fairly familiar with them and what they do and how they work. So to observe.
I'm so glad you're here. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we have an email, needhamartsandculture@gmail.com. Will you send your contact information so we can follow up and see how we want to get you involved?
I would love to. Where should I send it?
Our email, you can either do it, there's a form on our website on needhammad.gov, or our email is needhamartsandculture@gmail.com.
I love living here and been living here. I love living here in Needham. It's a great town, and there's all.
Thank you.
See if I can contribute, be of some help, really.
Yeah, thank you so much, Stephen, for joining. I'm sure we could use some of your services for our multicultural event. Your photography, we can totally take you up on that. I'll reach out to you for sure.
Yeah, it's unfortunately I just had. It's a long story. I don't want to get into the NEF grant to bring a poet to Pollard. After I retired, I spent the last 5 years being a special ed teacher at Pollard.
Great.
Nothing to do with art. The NEF grant that got accepted to be a poet for artists and residents. because of COVID, the poet couldn't do it. So that's the type of thing though, maybe I could work again, bring back in through you guys or something.
You broke up a little bit there, but I think we got parts of that. But
Yeah, we've had grants for Pollard before too, so if that was something you wanted to write a grant for to bring an artist to a school, that has been something that's been funded in the past too.
Okay, and I'm happy, now it's probably not the opportunity or the time, but I'm happy to also answer any questions about myself or,
No, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely email us and we'll have a chat with you on the phone and see how we can.
I would like to do that,
Thank
yeah,
you.
phone more comfortable.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Stephen.
That's who I
Thanks
am.
for being here.
I'm just here to observe. I don't want to interrupt your meeting at all.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So if anybody that's not speaking, if you could just put yourself on mute so we don't have any background noise, and then you can raise your hand when it's your turn. Cindy Rip Marshall, hi. Did you want to say hi? Because we've chatted on the phone as well for your grants. She has a studio at Gorse Mills. Is that where you're at Gorse Mills today?
No, I just walked in. I was in the car, so that's why I didn't have my video on. But yes, hi. Well, I already described to you, Charlie, about my project. I guess some of my questions are about like, I have reached out and networked. My idea, for those who don't know, is to offer a program where I would teach some storytelling skills to some Needham community members. I'm a storyteller and a story coach. And then we would have a culminating event where people could tell their stories. And my hope is to sort of lift up diverse voices within the community. And I've done some networking, as you suggested, through some of the diversity. There's a number of different diversity organizations. I don't have anything like secured, like definitely, like a support letter at this point. So is that okay if I just indicate that I'm hoping to network through those groups? I guess I'm just, as time is running short, I haven't,
Yeah.
yet received like a letter of support from
That's
a
fine,
particular
yeah.
group.
We don't require that. It always makes your
Okay.
application a little bit stronger, but we don't require that, especially, we stopped requiring that with COVID because we had to be more flexible at that time, but yeah,
Okay.
and you can always add things to your application as time goes. If something comes in, you can send it to us. But there are a
Okay.
couple people here that might be good contacts at this meeting right now.
Okay.
Bet Amelia would love to hear more about the work that you do, and it sounds like it might be something good for a multicultural festival as well.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. I mean, another thing I was trying to ascertain was where to hold an event like this. And I reached out to the public library. It looks like there's a fee for community groups to use the space there. So anyway, those were some of my questions about, if I don't have every detail sort of hammered out, is that okay?
work in progress is fine.
Work in progress. Yeah. Okay. All
you should
right,
also check
thank you.
out the senior center facility. I know that you can use it for free for some like nonprofit organizations. So maybe that's an option.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds nice. Thank you.
Of
Yeah.
course, I mean, I don't know how many people you're trying to attend, but Gorse Mills has hosted some stuff in the gallery space there. When
It's
not
very
used
small.
too.
It's really quite small. Yeah. Yeah.
Heather, do you have a question?
I just had a thought.
No, I'm-
that I know that Plugged In has used the VFW space for stuff, so that's an option. I don't know if you have to rent it or if they donate it, but I was just thinking that. And another place that I'm thinking of that's had a lot of artists or people come in. I have no idea if this would work for what you're doing, but I was just thinking about
Okay.
the Hearth Restaurant has often hosted musicians, and this almost seems like something they might like. Just a thought. I don't know. This
Sorry,
is-
which
just-
restaurant?
Oh, Hearth, the pizza
Hearth,
place in
okay.
town.
Yeah.
That they've hosted a lot of musicians, and I remember once they even hosted like kids were welcome to come and play. And I could kind of imagine this. It's just a thought. I mean, this is your project, but I
Okay,
just wanted
thank
to
you.
throw a couple of ideas that just quick came to my mind, just for you to
Thank
think
you.
about.
Thanks,
So-
Heather.
Okay,
Cindy, I appreciate you being here. If you have more questions, let us know and feel free to call and follow up again, but those were good.
thank you. Thank you.
So there's a couple people, I don't see your video, but I see Lee Betcher, you look like you're on audio, and Tracy and Emily, and then there's a phone number. If you guys want to ask any questions, just raise your hand. Hi, Emily, I see you now. Did you have any questions for us that you wanted to bring up, or you want to introduce a project you're thinking about?
Oh, hi, everybody. I just get a message from Dennis. So yeah, it's good as a Chinese background, but my multicultural, because I moved from Australia 4 years ago to Boston. So yeah, Australia is a multicultural country. So when we think, I just heard Dennis mention this is a multicultural Needham council arts and the culture, yeah, whatever. Sorry. Yeah, it's really good. I didn't, my background, I'm a singer. I'm an opera singer. I did quite a lot in Melbourne, Australia. So, but not too much here. Now I just starting to explore. So as my idea, I was thinking about something like collaboration concert, a multicultural concert, which is invite all different cultures members. Maybe we can do some outdoor concert. I'm not sure. It is possible. In Melbourne, we did a lot of in the Botanic Garden, in the garden, beautiful surrounding, then outside sound system, then maybe do opera night, which is maybe we can invite the local opera singers. I believe Needham has quite many. Yeah, so
Really interesting.
That's great, Emily. I think a lot of towns do like the summer music festivals, and then we also have like these porch festivals. I don't think Needham has done that yet, but this would be something that you could definitely pursue and bring to the town. Happy to chat.
Yeah, so just a quick intro for Emily. She's right now working on, I think it's a musical, like a program with the younger kids, like to teach them how to sing, basically. So it's in a musical setting, which is amazing. And I really like the idea of doing a multicultural concert when the weather permits, like especially in summer. I think like on the Independence Day night, like a fireworks night, like everybody enjoy the music and the band, live band there. So if we can do more on the weekends, like that could be very, very, relaxing and bring everybody out and to, have some good time.
There was an artist last year that wanted to do, they applied to do outdoor piano concerts, which I always thought was kind of an interesting one, but it wasn't fully developed. So Dennis, do you want to guide Emily a little bit more in how to apply for a grant?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely, so Emily, if you want to put in a application, let me know if you have any questions. I can definitely help you out.
Yeah, because a bunch of those sound very fundable through the council, especially at programs for young people in Needham. So.
Yeah.
Emily, do you do anything about introducing young children to opera?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm doing not at the moment because I just started do the children's choir. So I have a couple of, because I've come from different backgrounds. So I realize in Australia, in Melbourne, they have more events, music events, classical music for the young people and for the adults as well. Very popular. Like they always have opera company, always have an open outdoor concert like every half year. Yeah, so all the kids, in the opening concert, they including all different repertoires. Some is for the young kids, some for the adults, and let the local opera singers have a little opera bites, a little bit of this and that, and telling the stories and some characters with costumes. I think it's quite fun anyway. Yeah, and this is one thing I was thinking if we can do more in Needham, because I live here. I think Needham is a beautiful town for me. I like it. Everything, people is friendly and high educated. It's very nice. I like Needham, but I would like to see more like music activities in Needham. And when I teach these young kids, honestly, to be honestly, I think these kids seems like it doesn't have like singing classes in the school. I don't know why. It's supposed to be. So when they get together, they seem like zero from singing. But I think singing is for everybody. You're born and you start to sing. And the first talking is singing. It's singing. So I think singing brings people more happy and they can express themselves. And they get people along, sing choir. They're very happy, hand in hand, the rhythms, pitch. And yeah, I saw TikTok, the magic flute. And all these young kids, I believe they never sing opera, but they copy this. Everyone's copying. Yeah. So it's interesting. Anyway, so for me, I have the passion to how can I say, to deliver this out. And yeah, I had my master degree in opera performance in Melbourne. So I did a couple of operas. Madame Butterfly, I did that. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. And also I have a second, sorry, one more time. One more thing, I'm talking too much. One more thing is I'm quite happy to see more like a children's choir of the town and also adults choir. I know they have some church choir, but I would like to see more.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think High Rock.
We can perform it on the outdoor. The concert. I mean, very
love
fun.
your passion, Emily.
Yeah, starting.
I was just gonna say you would make a great salesperson. Love your pitch there. You sold us on the idea. Looking forward to your work.
There's I think in the High Rock, like a middle school like Pollard, they have a choir. If you choose not to be in the band, they do have a recital, annual recital at the end of the school year, which is amazing. If you're gonna watch them, if you recruit singers for the choir, like in terms of for this events or anything, I think you're gonna have a few candidates, quite a few candidates available out there, as long as you can spread out the message.
I do love Joni's idea though too of introducing opera to young.
Yeah,
but it's a so to be able to sing opera, take some technical training. So it's like difficult to start with opera, but you want to try something like a Sound of
Go big or go home, Dennis.
Yeah.
I had my kids listening to opera when they were infants.
Cool.
I introduced them. We listened to a lot of classical music and a lot of opera in our house, and they were 3 years old and they knew things. So you can introduce all kinds of music to kids at a very, very early age.
That's awesome.
And I ended up with a kid who's a professional musician, so something must have taken somewhere. But opera is completely ignored in schools, and classical music is also.
Well, Emily, let us know if you have any questions on how to develop a proposal. Or reach out to Dennis or needhamartsandculture@gmail.com. It was so nice to meet you. We need your passion, so thanks for being here.
We do.
Hey, Tracy, did you want to introduce yourself? Say hi.
Hi. So I'm Tracy. I'm actually in the same organization with Dennis. I'm the marketing director for the Chinese Friends of Needham organization. So Dennis brought me to this meeting, and I think the main purpose is to kind of see what are the topics that we can use to apply for the grants related to art and culture. I have heard a lot of great ideas. So one idea we have in mind is, so this past few months, starting on the AAPI month, CFN actually worked with town to have a AAPI craft event on June 4th, I believe. So what we did was we had different craft kits that are representative of Asian culture, like, paper lantern, paper fan, and things of the nature. And we had booths in the town center. And kids could come and pick the crafts that they wanted, and then make a lantern, make a fan, make a Chinese knots. That became really popular. And then we really saw the potential of promoting cultural awareness through crafts and crafts works, because those things are often representative of symbols, cultures, awareness, and all that. So and then we also had a booth at the Chambers of Commerce Harvest Fair.
Yeah, we saw you there.
Yeah, they're also really popular. So we have events here and there. And at one point we also talked, because my kids go to Newman School. So we also talked to Newman about being part of their passport event, which is a little bit like the multicultural event, which is within the school. And we also had discussion with the Newman PTC about potentially pushing arts and craft into the classroom. It doesn't always have to be multicultural, but imagine we have some sort of a simple crafts kit, and then we can hand to the teacher, and then the teacher can administer those crafts for during 10 minutes of the class time, for example. So the whole crafts idea becomes kind of a brand of its own right now. We have events here and there, and they prove pretty popular. So that's kind of the grand idea that we have. And I guess just presenting here, just to see how everyone feels, because I'm new to this. And
yeah, that sounds great. In the past, we have funded like kits that people have given to the library, to like science kits, and then at the library you could take them out. So we have funded things like that in the past. It sounds awesome. How was the event at Town Hall on June 4th? Was it well attended?
It was really good.
Really?
So we had,
and you did it, guys, in short, like kind of short notice. I remember, like you pulled that
exactly
together fast. Wow.
Yes, exactly. So we had I think town selectmen, members from different Needham communities came to our event, and I think the police force as well. And then they just came and checked it out, and some kids craft, and adults were really appreciative of the events as well. So we learned a lot about our community, and at the same time the community got to know our culture, and the symbols and the meanings of a lot of things. So we think that's very
that's awesome. We have had a lantern walk in the past, I believe, with the Blue Tree Lighting. We used to make lanterns as a craft, and one of the select board members recently forwarded this project to us where 1,000 people made these giant lanterns on sticks, and it's like, I think it's a trend going around town to do these lantern parades around town. So that kind of seems like a cool one too. All right, well, let us know if you have questions as you develop it. It sounds great.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
for this craft events, actually we do have a summer performance like the Chinese dancing from younger kids in the AAPI Month Heritage event, which is nice. It's some of the like the hip hop dancing, also Chinese the Chinese dancing, which is kind of like did a pretty good impressions for the Chinese culture overall. I think close to 100 kids showed up on that one. We ran out of the materials too.
Okay, we'll put
Pretty
it all
good.
together for us. That's great. Thank you guys for being here.
No problem.
All right, Lee, it's your turn. You're up. Hi. Who are you representing?
Well, I am just so impressed with these other projects. I'm not sure I should even think about applying, but
No, you should.
Apply, absolutely apply.
I do have another art form to bring in, and that's creative writing and writing authors. I am the editor-in-chief of Solstice, a magazine of diverse voices, which is an international magazine based in Needham. And we've been in business, not in business, we're a 501c3 nonprofit for 15 years. We've been promoting diversity in poetry, nonfiction, fiction, and graphic lit and photography. So here we are, and we are in discussions with collaborating with a diverse group here in Needham. And we could do outreach to teens at the high school with creative writing, but I wouldn't say we could come in with the children because it is an adult publication. If I do apply, I would send, of course, our website. You can see our mission and how many people on our 30 volunteer writers who are very well known in the Boston area. And so what I am a little daunted by these marvelous projects, but I think what I would like is to know with whom could I have a chat on your board or to get advice of how to present our project to you.
We're happy to answer personal questions. Just send a message with your contact info to needhamart&culture@gmail.com, and we'll reach out to talk to you more. There's a couple of partners in town that I can think of off the top of my head. Last year, we funded an art therapist who gave some workshops to adults that were caregivers of young people who really needed some art therapy, and writing therapy is also.
Yeah, well, we would be, I think, interested in a reading series, bringing diverse authors into Needham to do readings. And that's our thought. And we have many people on staff to do that. There is a similar project in Arlington that was funded by the Arlington Arts Alliance that takes place at the Kickstarter Cafe. And we do have a place in mind. But, you know, I will, because I'm just negotiating finalities here. I didn't want to mention who that is at the moment, but they have a Kickstarter Cafe that's been in business for about 10 years with a writing series. So they bring writers in, diverse writers. My friend Anjali Mitter-Duva, who's my co-editor in fiction, is involved with that. And that gave me the idea that, well, you know, to bring authors to Needham in a sort of cafe setting rather than library setting. And I don't see that happening here. So even though it would be a smaller operation, certainly than the Multicultural Festival, it's something I wanted to ask if you're interested in.
Oops. It looks like someone. Is that your whiteboard? Are you sharing something, Dennis? I think maybe we need to close that. That's fabulous. Do you have a website? Is the Solstice Magazine have a website you can share?
Indeed, we do. Should I share it now?
Yeah, maybe, or just tell us what it is.
What is it?
solsticelitmag.org, SOLSTICE litmag, LITMAG.org. And if you go to our staff, I think there you can see our diversity, and our commitment is under our mission statement to diversity for 15 years. So I'm bringing it. I haven't usually brought it to Needham, but this seems to me like an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, fabulous. Does anybody else have any questions for Lee? And but email us and we can follow up with more specific.
Great, that would be great.
Yeah.
Again, I'm so impressed with all the other initiatives. It's fabulous.
It's awesome. Well, we have more money this year than we've had before. I didn't even mention that our town is giving us some funding, and the state has increased our grant by 15%. So there's a little more than we've had before. So we hope to be able to fund a little bit higher levels and possibly more grants. Right now, we only have about 8 submitted and 10 drafted. We usually get about 35. So hopefully, I think a lot of people do them in the last week. So maybe we'll be on par with what we got last year. But I definitely share the grant as much as you can. We're doing more marketing push this week.
Well, if I were on your board, I can already think of about 5 I would fund just from this conversation.
Lee, I wouldn't, creative writing is really important part of the art. So I wouldn't really consider that anyway lower than all the other stuff that's been discussed. So this is really important as well to the community. So thank you for bringing this to us.
Okay, thank you.
So I see a Leslie Staroben. If you would just say hello, if anybody else, if we missed anyone else, Feel free to raise your hand or put your video on and we can let you speak. But thank you guys for being here and making this so successful. This is so exciting to have so many faces here. Reach out needhamarts@culture@gmail.com with specific questions. Start writing. You got 6 days because it's a hard deadline at 11:59. Don't learn the hard way. Someone tried to submit it last year at 12:02, and that was the reality. We can't take late applications, so that's really a bummer. So let us know if you have more questions, and you can feel free to leave, or you can feel free to listen to the rest of our exciting meeting as we talk about a treasury update. So thank you all for being here. Okay, so
Thank you.
Thank
okay,
you.
bye, thank you.
Thank you.
So back to our agenda. That was really exciting. So many people showed up.
Fun to hear all these ideas.
Yeah, for sure.
Great ideas. Yeah, I really hope we get as many applications as we did last year. So
Yeah.
flyer. I
Is
do
it
think a
usually
lot
this
coming.
slow?
It
Yeah.
seems low because last time we had plenty. We had a lot because
Okay, good.
we took a lot of time to review. So I'm sure people are waiting till the last minute, but hopefully we get more in the last week.
I think it doubles in the last week. I feel like that. So I just want to go back and do a couple of things before we say bye. Betsy Mullane has stepped down from the council. I don't know if we made that announcement. She's not going to be joining us anymore. So that's a bummer. She was amazing and did so much for fundraising for the electrical boxes while she was here. She's the chair of the women's club, so she's super overwhelmed and busy with that group. But we wish her luck on that way. So we went through the grants, the minutes we were going to talk about. Julia's not here, but Heather, I think we didn't review last month's minutes, but I think maybe Julia's typing those up and then we'll be caught up. So we'll do that at the next meeting. But if you have, did you get to meet with Julia and she talk about how to do minutes with you, Heather? Is that you're on mute, but is that a thumbs up?
No, I haven't talked to her about it. She just sent me sort of general information on everything and what my obligations are like. And yeah, I can.
She's really, if you want to touch base with her, she's the master of writing minutes because she keeps them so like succinct that I want to hear what her
Right now I'm doing like very rapid chicken scratch that
you can always listen to it on YouTube later if there's things you missed too.
Yeah, I apologize for being late. I think I was I went to the wrong Zoom link. So
okay.
so I will have to look at I think I just missed a little bit from the beginning, but yeah.
So that was about it. Go ahead, Corinne. You want to do a treasury report because this is probably the most exciting part.
Yeah, sure. So we met with the town accountants last month. And what we're bringing over from last year in our administrative account is $3,511 and $3,511.52. And I think we confirmed that 8,300 is usable for grants. So that'll be coming over. We are allowed to bring use 5% for administrative costs. So we were thinking about taking 5% from the state and 5% from the town, which would be $415 from the town and $450 from the state, giving us a little over $800 to use for administrative stuff. But with the 9,000, that would give us $19,946 available to grant this cycle.
That would be using all our money. So we usually try to keep some in reserve. So what we've advertised is 17,300 because that's the 9,000 from the state and the 8,300 from the town. The 8,300 from the town is going to have a bit of a paperwork. What's the right word for that? Just we're going to have some paperwork to do about it because the money is part of the operating budget. So that has to be spent by June 30th. So we're going to have to, as we go along through the grants, earmark which ones that we can draw from the town's budget because that is a reimbursement-based program. So the event has to already have happened. We do usually get a good amount of events that have happened that we fund. So we're just going to have to track that and make sure we spend that money from those grants, which will be an administrative challenge. But Corinne assures me she's up to the job. I don't know, did you assure me that? I
Yes.
think you're up to the job.
We can
So,
track it.
Yeah, I went through some of the grants already, and there are a few that fit that criteria, so I think so far, so. But the problem is what we don't use, we lose.
Yeah.
By June 30th, because it's the operating budget, that's the way that works. And then we'll get the new operating budget, which will also be $8,300 for next year, if that gets approved by the town. So moving forward, that will always be there in that kind of increment. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but I think we can handle it. Anything else that you wanted to say, Corinne?
Not just if everyone's okay with holding back the 5% for administrative. We were waiting for confirmation on the $8,300 before inputting, and that's due to be input into the mask system October 17th.
Okay, so if everyone's generally nodding, we've only ever used $67 for a banner. But if I don't know what we would use it for, but it might be something good to start tracking, so we have that sort of like ability to use some admin stuff for us moving forward. And then I don't think you lose it. I think we get to the town's money we would lose. So I don't know, maybe we just do the administrative from the state funding and not from the town's funding.
Can we use some of the budgeting, the amount for like the next fair, like the town fair? Like we definitely.
No, this would only be administrative things and not refreshments. That's one of the rules that.
Okay, got it.
But yes, so it would just be for like photocopying. So I think $400 is way more than enough. So maybe we just reserve 5% from the state budget and leave the town's budget, because I'm not sure we're even approved.
Oh,
To do that, but
okay.
what do you guys
Everybody in
think?
agreement?
Yeah, I can't imagine us using that much money anyways, but
Okay, so that would leave $450 for administrative.
it's plenty. Since we've only ever used 67, it's probably plenty.
All right.
Okay. And then the other two things left is the mural. So this is really exciting. In 4 days, the 3 proposals will be due. One has come in. It's very doable. It's exciting. So all 3 of them will come in the next couple of days. The next step in the process would be putting them on for voting by the town. So sort of publicize that these are the 3 proposals and what do you all like the best. I think the best way to do that is the Google form. Does anyone know any other voting software or something could be posted on the town and have people vote through our website that way and drive traffic that way? I'm not sure that's.
Let me check on that.
Yeah, I know there are some kind of like voting softwares, but I don't know how fancy we need to get, but. So there's that, and then the meeting for the selection committee is October 27th. And we'll be meeting with each artist for 15 minutes and they'll just kind of present their proposal and answer any questions we have. And then we'll look at what the voting has been, and then the selection committee will meet and make a final decision. So we're not having the town necessarily pick it. It's advised. They're advising us, and we'll probably use that to definitely choose, but it's not the winning answer, if that makes sense. Okay, and that's, I think, it. Does anybody else have any other questions? The only other business is that Amy is working on that cultural plan we talked about, so she's still working on that. That's moving forward. And our next meeting is November 22nd, is that right? And that we'll have the grants by October 18th, and then we'll distribute them online so people can start researching theirs. You'll get 2 or 3 assigned to you, depending on how many we have. And you'll get to ask questions, and then we'll have a meeting on November 22nd, and we'll all talk about them together a little bit. And then you can also then follow up with the grantee afterwards to ask any other questions. And then in December, we'll have the voting meeting, and that's when we'll elect who we fund and who we don't fund. And then letters will go out, the denials go out first, and we have to give 2 weeks for that, so that they can apply for reconsideration if they want. That's part of the process. It's pretty formal. So if they disagree with us not funding them, they're allowed to apply for reconsideration. Okay. Anybody have any questions before we go? Thank you. For this.
One more quick question is
Yeah, go
for
for
the time window of the application applicable for the
Yeah.
grants. Is it from June this year to May next year?
No, super good question. It's from June this year to December of next year. So it's an 18-month
okay.
window, I'm pretty sure.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little tricky because the town funding really has to have already happened. So before June, so that will be a little, tricky. Thank you guys for being here. Really nice to see you all, and we'll
That was
see
very
you.
fast and efficient.
Yay.
Thank you.
Exciting. And thanks.
All right,
Thanks for
have a
coming
good
to the
night.
town fair.
Bye.
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
See ya.
Bye, Charlie.
Care.
Bye, bye.